Hello everybody, how are you? This is Karthik Poovanam. I'm a leadership coach, author and a travel explorer. How are you all doing today? It's indeed my pleasure to be speaking to you. And I had some wonderful thoughts and I just thought I would share them with all of you. For all of you who are planning to have children and all of you who have children in the age group of 3 days, 5 days, 10 days, newly born babies, maybe 1-2 months old, you still have a lot of time to rectify it. And one of the most significant things that happens when you are born, when you were born, is you were touched a lot. You see, right at this age, it's very rare that, your mother will come and hug you, your father will come and hug you, people will come and hug you. It's not considered a wise act anymore to, come and just hug just like that. So very rarely it happens. But it's still very, it's very rampant in the advanced societies. They call it advanced, I call it backward, and I'll tell you why. Any society where stress is alive is backward society. Any society where jealousiness is alive is a backward society. Any society where anxiety is alive is a backward society. Any society where there is a stressful life is a backward society. And if you look at all the people who claim to be advanced, they are all completely in this kind of a negative state within. They watch somebody's post in a social media profile in Facebook and Instagram, and they feel very, very jealous inside. Oh man, that fellow has gone to UK, London, he's gone to Mauritius, he's posting photographs, he's gone to Bali, and now there is jealousiness inside that person who's watching it. So this is a society, which people are living, especially in the cities, urban cities, developed countries like America, London, across Europe, Australia, New Zealand. I've traveled to quite a lot of places. I've met quite a lot of people. I've engaged with people in my seminars and, transformed their way of thought process, where they have thanked me a lot. People from all the cross sections of society. So before I'm going to let out the next wonderful piece of information to all of you, I want you to know my profile before I'm talking to you, okay? I've traveled enough in my life. I'm very humbly a present here. Traveled to so many countries. I've traveled to almost all the European countries. I've been to the best places, met people from all the walks of life, professors from eminent universities have been a part of my workshop, people who work in multinational companies, top pharma giants, people who own hospitals, doctors, lawyers, top IPS officers in the rank of Director General of the Police, DGs, ADGs, IGs, students who, study in IIMs, IITs, BITS PILANI, professors in BITS PILANI, they've all been a part of my workshop. And I am going to share with you this information. You can check more about me in the link in the description box below. But why I shared this information with you is I want you to know that your mind just perceives an information when it is backed with authority, It doesn't just take information like that from anybody. So this information which I'm going to share with you is very, very important for all of you, especially for your child who is coming in this planet. Or he's already there in the planet. And the child definitely deserves to have a very good life. And because I care for the well-being of children, I want to tell you something very, very significant. When you're touching your child, it's very, very important that you work on the jealousiness aspects within. Recheck within yourself, heal the jealousiness so that you are able to give a touch which is free from jealousiness. Jealousiness free touch, anxiety free touching, stress free touching, depression free touching. A lot of people who are having stress in their life, they just produce children so that they will feel good. People who are having bad relationships will try to produce a child so that their relationships are going to be good. You see, any number of people, when the husband and wife is fighting with one another, the elders in the family, they come and give a very, very terrible advice. the terrible and vicious and absolutely insensible, cruel and high formats of negligent behavior induced in it while giving this advice is to have a child so that your relationship becomes good. And this couple, they have a child just to have a healing in their relationship. It happens for maybe 6 months. After that, back to normal. They will start fighting and quarreling with one another. Any number of people who, if you have a child and you're already watching this, you know what I'm speaking about. Ladies and gentlemen, it's very, very important to understand one thing very, very clearly, that you have to produce a child only and only when you are conscious about what you are creating. If you want to nurture a child, bring the child to the planet. Don't bring the child to use the child. You're using pen, you're using brush, you're using your sanitary napkins, you're using your tissue papers, you're using your bathroom, you're using your vehicles, you're using everything. A child is not a thing. It's not something that you use and just throw. Bring the child only when you are in a position to nurture the child. Otherwise, please don't bring another child to the planet and cause misery. A child is not a healing mechanism that should be used or an assured old age insurance for you. It's very, very important that you know this. And if you don't know this, the time will show you the fact. Any number of parents today are living alone. They cry that the children are not calling. I am not talking about the millennials who are born. I'm talking about the children who were born in 1960s, 1970s, whose age is today over 60 years of age. They're not calling the parents. And their old mothers who are over the age of 90, they just crib, they complain. Why? Because they are the culprits. They have never ever given love to their children. They've only treated them as old age insurances. They have only been happy when they send money to them. And therefore the children, they just send little money, they just throw it and they are just completely disengaged. Well, if you are hoping that your future is going to be secured when you're going to install guilt in your child, you are doing a tremendous mistake. And if you don't want to believe me now, don't worry, you can believe it when it happens. Or you will know it when it happens. It's a reality of life. So ensure one thing: when you're touching your child, when the child is born, touch the child without any stress. Before you are touching the child, observe yourself. When the child is there, that's the time to have pleasantness in the home, not have all kinds of loud music. See, loud music, what it does, it gives you an instant gratification, pleasure, but that does a tremendously a bad impact, because you see the energies how they are. Just observe us. I want you to take a blood pressure machine, BP machine, and just keep it with you. And while you're listening to music, different kinds of music, just see how the blood pressure is shooting up. And when you're listening to Carnatic music of something very, very pleasant and harmonious, how your blood pressure is. Or when you're very, very tense, listen to some cool and soothing music and observe your blood pressure. You will feel instant difference. And this is needed, this is largely required. Because at the end of the day, your mental enjoyment must not be at the cost of permanent discomfort that you cause to your internal organs. This is not accepted. No. And when you have a child, definitely you have no business in causing any kind of a damage to the internal thought process of the child when the child is growing up, especially when the child is at its deep, newest formative age. Deep, newest formative age, DNFA, deep new formative age. Very important for you to understand this. So touch the child, give the child a touch that is free from stress, stress-free touch, anxiety-free stress, jealousy-free touch, anxiousness-free touch, greed-free touch. The greed that your child will become something. No, no, please don't have such things. Let the child become what the child loves to become. Give the freedom to the child. Let the child choose how the child would love to express its intelligence. Allow the child's natural intelligence to flow. By the time the child is growing up, you are murdering the child's intelligence. The child is joyful, celebrate with the joy. Do not set incentives for being sad. Do not set incentives for being anxious. Do not set incentives for crying. When the child is crying, just treat the child from a distance. Attend to it from a distance. Do not have to go near the child, because the deep intelligence of the child understands that when the child is not feeling good, that's the time the child is going to get the least amount of attention. And when the child is feeling good, that is the time the child is going to get the maximum amount of attention. So this kind of a neurological framework and neural pathway, when it is established right from a very young age, the child will naturally blossom into a wonderful possibility. Otherwise, whenever the child craves for attention, the child will cry, wah, wah, wah. And there's the same thing what happens when you're growing up and you suddenly want the attentions of the family members. All that you have to do is just feel low and sit at a room in a corner, and suddenly people will start coming, and there is a deep pleasure that happens within, the sadistic pleasure of having attention. Because as human beings, we all seek attention, and deep within, when we observe, what we seek is not attention, what we seek is inclusiveness. We love to be included, and there cannot be a grand inclusion than to be included by one's own intelligence, by one's own self. And that's a different topic for a different video. For now, make this a living reality. If you're watching this video so far, it's very, very important that you gift yourself and the child who has come a good touch, which will have an incredible impact on the child, on its confidence levels, and the way in which the child expresses their ideas, the clarity levels, everything. And more so importantly, the child will feel more alive within, engaged with life within. Most of you do not know what is being alive. You're just living, just surviving, I would say. So it's important that you give and gift this incredible, at least this touch, which you're capable of, right? Stress-free touch, anxiety-free touch, fear-free touch, anxiousness-free touch, greed-free touch, jealousy-free touch, and any other harmful. And when you're in a state of low confidence, do not touch the child. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful time. Boys and girls, have a very, very fantastic time. This is Karthik Poovanam. I'm a leadership coach, author, and a travel explorer, and I will see you in another amazing video. Good day and have a fantastic time, everybody.